Shall we get going, everybody? It's another year of scouting. It's another potential year of another, of a number one overall pick. And that is the question: where are we going to be on the draft board? We got number one again. $15 million in bonus money. It has to be number one. Number two. Oh, man. Well, that's not bad, but if they're... Oh, my God. Look at Carlos Trujillo. Well, that adds some drama now, doesn't it? We have the second pick, and then we have back-to-back picks, 36 and 37, later on. So this, again, represents a great chance for us. But we are still at the point where we need to get the best player possible with really the first three picks. It's not a matter of looking for someone specific. I mean, again, like you could say, oh, but, do you need a catcher? Not necessarily. But Dominic Wilkes could be moved over to third base, So we'll see who's out there, really. And in first base-wise, I mean... Well, shit, David Sanchez could play the outfield, if need be. So, I think we're okay. So, let's go ahead. It's the same deal as always. We will have Carlos Trujillo looked at, Johnny Denny, the shortstop, and Freddie Gomez. So, starter, third, and short will be our focus for the week. As I didn't put up a prediction for the season, but let's be honest, at 0-8, what are you going to do? Ooh, wow. So that scout really doesn't like Johnny Denny. But this scout loves Carlos Trujillo. I don't really know why. I don't know about that for a second overall pick. And then Freddie Gomez. Ooh, Frederick. Ooh, Freddie. I know we just got a third baseman, but Freddie Gomez has everything but the power game. That might be the first guy that we keep an eye on here, chat. That might be. Is stamina strange? I mean, stamina is very, very important. Stamina is very, very important. It is. I mean, starting pitchers are going to be ranked pretty heavily on it. Okay, so again, we will still base this off of the MLB rankings first. Let's look at Neil Gregory. Next position player is Sean Cortez, and let's also look at Martin Esparza. Again, not afraid to look at relievers, knowing that we'll have options in the second round. Third baseman with no power. I'd rather have a third baseman who can defend than have a third baseman with a crap load of power. Me personally. Austin Field. Ooh, shoulder separation for our best reliever, Austin Fielder. That's not good. That's not good. All right. What do we got here? Wow, they hate Neil Gregory. They hate all these guys. Jesus. Wow. Our scouts, not a big fan of the top-rated dudes in this draft. Let's look at Lawrence Richards. We'll look at left fielder Gregory Merrifield. And another starter, Darren Hill. Starter closer left. Be the focus for the week. This is kind of scary. It'd be one thing if there was like, yep, that's the guy, but it's not looking like it. Oh, let's see. Look at Ozzy Ibar. Let's look at Sam Scott in a minute. We'll go for Mark Haig. Haig. I'm going to go with Haig. Samuel Scott and his mustache. A lot of left fielders. No wins that week. We're 4-24. Okay, it likes Ibar. If we scout him more, a lot of these guys who are in the MLB top 30 for this draft, they are falling off a cliff in terms of where our scouts think they should go. Falling off of a cliff. Ooh, Sidney Gilmore, please be good. See, Javi Baez got benched by Detroit tonight. I didn't. but getting benched 2 weeks into a season, it's pretty impressive. It's pretty impressive to get benched 2 weeks into a season. Hey, we beat Toronto. All right, again, more guys falling off the face of the earth. Geronimo, as he nosedives from 14th to 42nd, apparently. We got next Rene Acevedo. We have first baseman Vince Messer. And another starter, Andreas Perez. What a weird spot we're in. What a weird spot we're in terms of scouting right now. I think we won that series against Toronto. That's amazing. All right, scouts do like Acevedo so far. Who else do we have that we haven't looked at yet? Diego Espinoza. We have another first baseman, Felix Cano. And another closer, Kevin Clement. Achilles, what's going on? How are you tonight? Good to see you. Our scouts haven't won at this point? That was a good question that I was actually about to look at myself. Right now, our scouts are identifying third baseman Freddie Gomez. So, Gomer's still hanging in there as that top option. Again, we do have a good project third baseman, but we still need best available at this point if we can get him. Let's look at Daryl Ciccone. Let's look at catcher Steve Muller. And reliever Chuck Neff. Chuck Neff. It is very close, though, to us needing to focus on making sure the top dudes available are fully scouted. I mean, we're down in the 20s for pitchers, and not many of them have really jumped up. Let's look at team rank. Let's find out more about Darren Hill. Find out more about Merrifield. We'll find out more about Ozzy Ibar. This team would lose to a single-A ball club. Probably. Probably. Ooh, couple wins in a row. Damn, look at us, 11-46. All right, we have a new projected number one according to our scouts. Meanwhile, Gregory Merrifield has fallen off of a cliff. So our scouts are really liking Darren Hill. Again, like, he's going to be good. He's just not going to be generational. More than likely. Let's find out more about Steven Lawrence. Johnny Denny. And Andreas Perez. Yeah, we definitely have to focus on the best available. A little over a month out from the draft. Oh, wow. They really don't like Johnny Denny. Like, really don't like Johnny Denny. Damn. Damn. All right. Well, this is looking like a real shaky draft. It moved Gomer down to 4th. I do still want to look at Acevedo, even though we're not going to take him first overall or anything like that. Let's look at right fielder. So our scouts seem to like this guy. We haven't looked at him yet, Joe Rodriguez. If you play a closer at minor relief pitcher, they get a big overall boost. Yeah, I mean, that's what we're doing on our roster right now. They get more time. That's why. They get more innings. 2 closers and a right fielder. Did Denny sleep with the head scout's wife or something? There's a rough drop-off in terms of talent evaluation. Week 12 of 14, we have another new number one. Our scouts really liking Rene Acevedo, the closer, who obviously we won't take second overall. Let's keep going off a team rank here. We got reliever Guillermo Enriquez. The right fielder, Joe Rodriguez, we will look at again And Alfonso Alejandro Estrada. It was Armando, but still. It's for the wrestling fans out there. 13 days out from the draft. Unfortunately, my scouts seem to have decided to start taking time off. We're not getting much in terms of efficiency. Let's look at Aaron Spence. Vince Messer. And another reliever, Ken, don't call me Ned Stark. After this, we got one more week. I mean, I'm sure we're going to get another good pick, but there isn't that, apparently, that elite generational guy. Although, ooh, Vince Messer really climbing up the board. Let's find out 100% about Vince Messer. Perez at 5. 95 should be enough. 55 for Spence. He's apparently hurt. I want to know for sure if that guy is actually that hurt. We'll get 100% confirmation on Messer. And then from there, a couple other dudes that our scouts like that are projected second round. Let's take a look at Aaron Smith. So starter, reliever, and first baseman. Can a closer turn into a starter? It's tough. You'd have to train them up on stamina pretty much from the moment they're drafted. Garrett Crochet off to Baltimore. And with that, Chad, it is the 2028 draft. Again, we have the second overall pick, and would you look at that? Vince Messer. Last minute is our scout's new number 1. First baseman, Vince Messer. Ooh. Looks to be a hell of a hitter. Well, actually a decent fielder, too, for the German. Looks like Pete Rose, he does. Interesting for Vince Messer. No doubt we consider him if he's not selected number 1. No doubt. I don't know if he's the guy, though. There's the closer, Rene Acevedo, who looks like he could be phenomenal. We cannot take him second overall. We can't. So we'll consider him for later. All right, good. Messer's still ahead of him. There is pitcher Darren Hill. I mean, yeah, but no. Like, I'm not like, oh my God, that's the guy. Please don't take him first. I mean, we could go for him, but I'm not sold on him being like number 1 worthy. There's the other starting pitcher, Ozzy Ibar. He looks a little bit better, at least in terms of the walks per 9. Again, wouldn't necessarily be a bad pick, just not immediately sold. What about Carlos Trujillo? Same thing for Carlos. Although his future velocity and break really aren't that good. I don't think I'm even going to add Trujillo to the list here. Sorry, Carlos, at least off of what I know. Andreas Perez, who is listed as injured. Ooh, but come on. Oh, those future attributes are looking great. Am I worried about him being injured? He looks like an incredible boom or bust prospect. He really does. Freddie Gomez. Again, man, look at the reaction time for Freddie at third base. If anybody can handle the hot corner, it's him. I think I like Freddie Gomez the best. I still think I like Freddie the best. There's closer Diego Espinosa. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. Can't take him in the first round, but man, if we could get him later on, even though he's probably a B potential, that's going to be a high starting overall. Then there's, oh my God, Sidney Gilmore is almost a guaranteed A. Okay, here's the problem with Gilmore. He is almost a guaranteed A potential, but he's 22, and he is never going to be able to hit. He is going to be a pure defensive specialist. Is that who you take second overall? You know? He is going to be an elite center fielder. But he can't hit. He's projected 23rd, so you never know. And then there's a couple of other guys outside the top 10. I mean, there is someone like Steven Lawrence, but I'm going to trust our scouts. There's Joe Rodriguez. Same thing. Really good fielder. Aaron Spence as a reliever, but we couldn't take him early. Okay. So, the list. It has Vince Messer as the #1 projected guy. Can't really find a fault with him as a first baseman. The only fault is that we already have first baseman. But that's okay. There's the closer, Rene Acevedo. No way we're taking him second overall. We can just go ahead. Honestly, for any closer, let's just remove them because we'll check later on if they're still there. There's Gilmore. I can't take this guy second overall. I just can't. Elite fielding or not, you can't take a guy like that second overall. I'd like to, but I can't do it. So that leaves the third baseman, Freddie Gomez, and then a bunch of starters. Freddie is not as strong at the plate as Messer, but he is a potentially elite defensive third baseman while still being more than serviceable at the plate. Whereas Messer could also be elite, but as a first baseman. And then there's the starters. There's Ibar. Kind of 4 good things about him. Trujillo. I don't like Trujillo as much as the other guy. There's Andreas Perez. Jesus. I know he's the one that's listed as injured, but damn, man. Damn. And then Darren Hill. It's down to 3. Vince Messer, Freddie Gomez, Andreas Perez. Messer looks to be a good fielder, but could be a very, very strong, but not elite option at the plate. But he, from an 80 to a 95 potential, has the best chance of being an A. Gomez, more than likely a B potential, but again, fantastic defensively and more than serviceable at the plate. And then Andreas Perez is the biggest X factor. As a pitcher, he looks to be insane. Although, again, a very low chance of being an A potential. But he's also injured. To the draft we go. Gotta go best player. I don't know who that is, though. That's the problem. I don't know who that is. The Chicago Cubs have the #1 overall selection. And with that pick, they take Neil Gregory. Projected 4th, the starting pitcher, who our scouts say is mid with a capital M. That means we only have a few short minutes to decide what direction we're going in here. Messer, Gomez, or Perez? Messer has the best potential range. Best potential range. Hitting looks to be very well-rounded, but I'm a little... So here's the problem. The thing Messer is most likely to be elite at is fielding. Then there's Gomez, who again, against lefties, is phenomenal. And defensively, he is shaping up to be elite. Would you rather have an elite fielding contact guy or an all-around B-plus guy? I mean, that's the question. And then there's the biggest X factor of them all, Andreas Perez. There is something about this guy where it's just, in my mind, if we do not take him, I am going to regret it. But at the same time, there is, in terms of the three, this is the guy that if I take, it has the highest chance of me regretting the pick. Whereas I don't think we'll regret the either of the other two. But if we take this guy, and he misses, that's a huge miss. I don't think we can take him. Vince Messer. Does have the lowest bonus demand. And then there's Gomez. It's just that elite fielding of Gomez, man. Gomez is more expensive, though. Messer was projected 26th. Also has the lower interest of the two. He is younger as well. This is tough. Oh, this is tough. The issue with Messer is based off of who we already have. We have 3 first basemen already. 2 of them are good. One of them has to be a DH. I don't think... Well, Sanchez could play the corner outfield. Guerrero could stay at DH. Oh, man. I know how much time is left. I don't know how much confidence I have in it. I gotta be honest. I do think we got a very, very good player. Unlike with the pitcher, like I was saying, I don't think in any way we're going to regret ending up with Messer. Yeah, I mean, Messer was drafted higher, so, yeah. I don't know. We'll see what happens. That was the toughest decision yet. With the 3rd overall pick, that's Trujillo, isn't it? Going to the Giants? Yes, it is. Starting pitcher, Carlos Trujillo. Well, again, we ruled out as, like, obviously he's good, but not elite. We do need future starters, but I don't think he was the guy. So, the big reach. was us in terms of projected rank versus where they went. Andreas Perez. Washington bites on Andreas Perez, the big risk. Shortstop Johnny Denny goes 5th to Detroit. Projected first, our scouts absolutely hated him. Darren Hill, the other starting pitcher that we were considering, he goes 6th overall to Kansas City. Colorado is always fun to watch. They go for starting pitcher Samuel Scott. And we only had him 50% scouted. Boston Red Sox at 8 take first baseman Felix Cano, who we did not continue to look at beyond 45% for obvious reasons. Freddie Gomez goes 9th to Toronto. Did we make the right choice? We'll find out when we look at the Blue Jays. In the round out the top 10, Texas takes starting pitcher Ozzie Ibar. 11 sees starting pitcher Tommy Friedman go to the Mets. It's projected 31st. Cleveland at 12 takes starting pitcher Sal Hooley, who was projected 58th to the Guardians. Know something that we don't. Baltimore at 13 takes left fielder Sean Cortez, who was projected 6th. Our scouts really didn't like him. At 14, Miami takes left fielder Mark Haig, which again, our scouts didn't like him that much. Cincy at 15 takes starting pitcher Emmanuel Kimball, who was projected 50th. Interesting. At 16, Milwaukee takes catcher Steve Muller. Was a first-round projected option. Houston takes second baseman Darren Pena. Projected 91st. He's either the next Altuve or a horrible mistake. Starting pitcher Steven Lawrence goes to the White Sox. Could be a good pick for them. Oakland at 19 takes starting pitcher Aaron Smith, who was also a first-round projected option. The Dodgers take starting pitcher with probably the best name, Enrique Geronimo, who again our scouts did not like that much through 50% scouting. Johnny Bove, the third baseman, 36 projected, on his way to the Diamondbacks at 21. Tampa takes center fielder Sidney Gilmore, who looks to be like Kevin Kiermaier, basically, so go figure he goes to Tampa. The Yankees take left fielder Gregory Merrifield, who at one time our scouts thought might be top 10, and then we got him up to 85% scouting, and they said, LOL, no, don't do it. You have second baseman David Francisco. He was projected 73rd. He goes 24th to Minnesota. Atlanta takes second baseman Derek Kaminsky. 55th projection. They get him at 25th. 26th starting pitcher Daryl Saccone. I mean, for a 23-year-old, be potential guy, basically. That's not too bad. Angels take right fielder Joe Rodriguez, who our scouts did like quite a bit. You got the Padres at 28. They take reliever Martin Esparza, who our scouts hated. So let's see who was right. Runners up in Philadelphia select closer Lawrence Richards. And your world champion Seattle Mariners select Ken Starks, reliever, who was projected 32nd. We are a few picks away from another choice from back-to-back picks, as Aaron Spence, the reliever, goes to Cleveland. Another risky pick. Baltimore at 32 takes reliever Chuck Neff. 3 picks away, and again, we have back-to-back picks coming up. Diamondbacks at 33 take reliever Robert Coates. Rockies at 34. Select starting pitcher Elliott Pittman. And the Kansas City Royals at 35. Select Alejandro Vina, shortstop. So back-to-back oh boy, back-to-back picks. And Rene Acevedo is still available. So is Diego Espinoza. Holy hell. Holy hell. There is Velasquez, who we know nothing about. We can't trust that. There's Kana Arabu, who we also really know nothing about. Dave Henkel. Kevin Clement as another reliever, but we only have him on 50%. Derek Knapik. All right, really quickly. So there are a bunch of relievers. Clearly, we take one and then look for the best position player from here. Who that position player is, I'm not sure. There is Gary Takahashi. Franklin Rigdon, but we only have him 5% scouted. Our scouts hate Rene Gutierrez. Really? Our scouts hate Rene Gutierrez. I might have to challenge them on that. David Suzuki in center field. Brian Pena. I know some stats are cut off, by the way. Give me a minute. Give me a minute. That's only on 5%. Okay. So, in terms of closers, there is Rene Acevedo or Diego Espinoza. Jesus. 79.94, 63.70. So Acevedo, higher ceiling, but probably a lower starting overall. They are both 18. I think you have to go with Espinoza. I mean, our scouts like Acevedo a little bit more, but man, Diego Espinoza looks pretty damn good. There is Guillermo Enriquez, but we have Espinoza 100% scouted. We got a minute and a half here before we take a reliever. Strikeouts, home run, pitch control. Doesn't have the velocity as much. I'm really liking Espinoza, I got to be honest. In terms of best position player from here, there is Gary Takahashi, who's fast. That's about it. He's pretty well-rounded at second base. Gutierrez, we don't know much about, but according to our scouts, LOL, through 10%. Brian Pena as a defense first option, but we don't know enough about him. Or Peter Herman, who again we only have 5% info on. We're in a tough spot. Gutierrez, though, we know he has some good ranges, so I think Rene Gutierrez, I'm going to challenge those potentials. I don't think our scouts have it right. I'm going with Espinoza. I like Espinoza more. We are going to take the reliever, Diego Espinoza, with that first pick. And again, our first round selection, second overall, was first baseman Vince Messer. And we'll see if we made the right choice there. Our next pick, again, we already know who it's going to be. We'll take the risk on Rene Gutierrez. It's like the third Gutierrez that we've drafted. It's a big old family reunion here. But Rene Gutierrez is the guy. I know the looks of it, terrible. Something is wrong, though, because our scouts, from an attribute perspective, say this guy is great. So it's either that potential is wrong or the attributes are wrong. And if we get this right and the potential's wrong, we just cleaned up. That is the thought process. We can take a risk on our third pick of the draft. Absolutely. We go to round 3. Obviously, a crap load of picks, as Acevedo was the very next pick. Crap load of picks in between. We are going to be in best guess territory. We have no one else who was scouted. Anybody better than a 65 to 99 range? This dude's 74 to 98. Anybody else with a promising OVR range that we can just take the risk on? Hello, Crash Andrews. I'm here to point out that Kempe hit 40 goals tonight. Power forward, Adrian Kempe. Manny Huerta as a center fielder. Ramones Hinojosa. Anybody else with a good potential range that we can risk it on? Anybody else above a 65? I mean, again, every single player here, we know nothing about him. It's just best guess. Across the board. Hope for the best. And our scouts do have quite a few, players with interesting listed potentials that we can just hope for the best on. Go ahead and catcher Ray Nunez. Okay. So really quickly, Scott Littleton is the next guy projected to go in terms of draft rank. His break sucks. I mean, we don't know enough about him. Certainly through 8% scouted, not 5. Doesn't look great. Relief pitcher Edgar Esposito. I know we only have him 10% scouted. So far, he's the next man up. Center fielder Manny Huerta. Has the speed, as far as we know. But outside of that, he's pretty average everywhere else. I'll leave him there for the moment. Ramon Hinojosa. Same thing. Defense first fielder, as far as we know. Santiago as a reliever. I'd certainly still go for Esposito. Muriel's not projected to go before the next pick. Looks decent at the plate, again, from what we know about him. Alan Whitney sucks. Oh, no, excuse me. That's Alan Whitey. Francesco Castro as a third baseman. Attribute-wise, sucks, as far as we know. As far as we know. Get him out of there. Andreas Cortez at first. What about Frank Christensen, the starter? There's a couple things going for him late in the draft. Ray Nunez as a catcher sucks. As does Saldana. Okay, well, we have our next few targets, no doubt. I don't know if... The thing is, I don't know if we need another reliever. But if our scouts, through 10% scouting, are right about this dude, Edgar Esposito, that guy's going to be insane down the road. So we will take our second reliever of this draft. Because, again, we're still going best available. And we're going to take Eddie Esposito. Hope for the best there. Okay, Huerta is off the board. Hinojosa is still there. I wanted Huerta more than Hinojosa, but we could get a defense first option in Ramon Hinojosa. We'll go for him as a center fielder in round 4. Round 5, all 3 guys are still there. It's Santiago. I mean, we don't need another reliever. It's either Muriel or Christensen. Christensen should be available by our next pick, but I got to be honest, I don't know if I want to risk it. I want to get another starter because we still have only drafted 4 starters. So we are going to go for Christensen with this pick. And then round 6, yeah, Muriel's gone. Alonzo Matlock. Do we have anybody else that our scouts kind of liked towards the back half of this draft? Ray Nunez is back there as a catcher. He's the guy. We're going to get another catcher. New draft system's phenomenal. Hell of a lot of fun. It is the best drafting system for console-based franchise modes in any sport. Let's go for Ray Nunez at catcher. So obviously a lot of best guess outside of our first two picks. I am very happy on paper with Messer and Espinoza, but we have some question marks. Did we screw up by not taking Freddie Gomez, who went 9th overall to the Blue Jays? That's the question.